આફ્ટરનૂન ફ્રેન્ડ્સ. આજે ફરીથી આપણે મેથેમેટિક્સના લેક્ચર માટે અહીંયા ભેગા થયા છે અને આજે આપણી વચ્ચે નોર્થ ગુજરાત યુનિવર્સિટીના પ્રોફેસર ડૉક્ટર એવી કડિયા આપણી સાથે ઉપસ્થિત છે અને આજે આપણને ખૂબ જ રસપ્રદ મેથેમેટિકલ એનાલિસિસના ટોપિક રીમાન સ્ટિલ્જેસ ઇન્ટિગ્રેશન વિશે વાત કરવાના છે. તો હું એમને વિનંતી કરું છું કે આજે એમનું લેક્ચર અત્યારે અહીંયા શરૂ કરે. કડિયા સાહેબ.
Good morning to each other. Today I define the Riemann integral. Plus
સ્લાઇડ પર જોઈ શકો છો તમે.
હા, સ્લાઇડ જોઈ શકો છો. Suppose AB is a given closed interval. We define a partition P of closed interval AB. It is a finite set of points as x0, x1, x2, xn, where this a0 is equal to x0 is less than or equal to x1 less than or equal to xn minus 1 less than or equal to xn, it is equal to b. We define the delta xi, it is equal to xi minus 1 for each I. Now consider f is a mapping from closed interval AB to real line which is bounded. For any partition P of AB, we define the maximum Mi. Mi is equal to supremum of fx in the ith closed interval xi minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to xi. Small mi is infimum of fx xi minus 1 x less than or equal to x less than or equal to xi, and we can define the Riemann sums which we know as UPF and LPF. UPF is defined as a summation I running 1 to n capital Mi delta xi, and the LPF it is equal to sigma I running 1 to n Mi delta xi. Not that because of small mi is less than or equal to capital Mi for each I, so LPF is less than or equal to UPF. Define the upper and lower integrals as all possible partitions we can have to taking the infimum of UPF, that is known as a upper integral a to b f dx, and the supremum of LPF for all partitions P of AB we can have to define it is as a lower integral a to b f dx. If the upper and lower integral are equal, we say that f is Riemann integrable on AB. We write f belongs to R on AB, and we denote the common value of the upper and lower integrals by integration a to b f dx, or otherwise we written it is as a integration a to b fx dx. This is the Riemann integral of f over AB. Next. Since f is bounded, then there exist two numbers, small m and capital M. They are the boundaries of fx in interval AB. Hence, for every partition P, mb minus a is less than or equal to LPF is less than or equal to UPF is less than or equal to capital M multiplying b minus a, so that the numbers LPF and UPF form a bounded sets. This shows that the upper and lower integrals are defined for every bounded function f. It is the area, the integral of AB, integral of f
is the area
from
below.
A to B is the area below the function f in AB. Now the question of their equality, so of the integrability of f is more delicate one. So we have to study the Riemann integral. We give the one of the example of the Dirichlet function. We can considering fx is equal to 1 if x is rational in interval AB, closed interval AB, and fx is equal to 0 if x is irrational in the closed interval AB. Then for every partition P, the small mi, it is equal to minimum of fx, it is equal to 0, and capital Mi, it is equal to maximum of fx, it is equal to 1, and so LPF is 0 and UPF is equal to B minus 1, B minus A. So all possibles LPF for partitions P, we can have to taking its infimum, it is 0, so upper integral is defined and it is 0. Similarly, the infimum of all UPF for all partitions P, it is well defined and it is the upper integral of f, it is your B minus A, it is also well defined, but still both are not equal because of B minus A is positive. So f is not Riemann integrable on AB, but both upper and lower integrals are exist. Such types of example we see here. Next, the Riemann integral alpha be monotonically increasing function on AB. Therefore, alpha A and alpha B are finite. It follows that alpha is bounded on AB. For each partition P of closed interval AB, we define delta alpha I, it is equal to alpha xi minus alpha xi minus 1. Then delta alpha is always greater than or equal to 0 for all I, because of it is monotonically increasing function. For any function f defined on a closed interval, real valued function which is bounded on closed interval AB, we define the Riemann sums. Riemann-Stieltjes sum, it is known as a UPF alpha. It is nothing but equal to the same way as the Riemann integral summation I running 1 to n mi delta alpha I, and LPF alpha it is equal to sigma I running 1 to n mi delta alpha I, where mi and mi, small capital Mi and small mi have the same meanings as in above definitions. And we define the upper and lower integrals as upper integral of f with respect to alpha in the interval AB is equal to infimum of all UPF alpha for all partitions P, that is the infimum taken over all partitions P over AB, and the lower integral A to B f d alpha, it is equal to the supremum of all LPF where P is a partition of f. If upper and lower integral are equal, then we denote their common value, it is the integral of f d alpha, and it is denoted by integral A to B fx d of alpha x, and we can say the function f is next Riemann-Stieltjes integrable with respect to alpha over closed interval AB. If this integral A to B f d alpha exists, that means that upper and lower integrals are equal. We say that f is Riemann integrable with respect to the function alpha in the Riemann sense, and we write it is f belongs to R alpha on AB. By taking alpha x is equal to x, then it is monotonically increasing, and therefore Riemann integral is seen to be the special case of Riemann-Stieltjes integral. Now, all the next lectures we can have to considering the two assumptions. Here after we always make two assumptions. First is f is a real valued bounded functions defined on a closed interval AB, and alpha is a real valued monotonically increasing function defined on closed interval AB. Now we define a refinement partition, say it is your P star of AB. P star is a one of the partition of AB, which is a refinement of a given partition P if P star is contained in P. Given two partitions P1 and P2, we define P is their common refinement if P is equal to the union of P1 and P2. Next. Now we define, or now we can have to prove one of the theorem. If a P star is a refinement of P, then LP F alpha less than or equal to LP star F alpha and UP star F alpha is less than or equal to UPF alpha. To see the proof, we go to the board, see the proof. First we suppose that P star contains just one more point than P. This extra point we can consider it X star. So P star we can have to consider as a P union X star. If we can consider it P, it is equal to A, it is equal to X0 less than or equal to X1 less than or equal to so on, Xn it is equal to B, then P star is one of the partition, X star is in it, so we can have to say X0 less than or equal to X1 less than or equal to so on, less than or equal to one of the ith interval in between the X star is there. So this is one of the refinement and it contains one more point than P, then we can have to define Mi, it is equal to the infimum of Fx such that Mi is the infimum of Fx. We can have to consider that xi minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to xi. W1 we can have to consider it that it is the infimum of Fx such that xi minus 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to x star, and W2 it is equal to the infimum of Fx, it is such that for all points x lies between x star and xi. Then we can have to see what is the LP. See the slide. LP star F alpha minus LP F alpha, we can have to define that one. So for this partition we can have to say that I running 1 to n, because of we have these are the same intervals, so in that intervals we can have the minimum value, infimum value of the function is Mi. So we can have to say Mi delta alpha I, and we can have to say it is j, and j is different from I. For ith interval we have it is a one of the partition, so we can have to say it is the W1 into alpha of x star minus alpha of xi minus 1 plus W2 into alpha of xi minus alpha of x star, and from this one minus sigma j running 1 to n mj delta alpha j, that gives us, because of the same part we can have to cancelling, and then we have the remaining part is of this form: W1 alpha x star minus alpha xi minus 1 plus W2 alpha xi minus alpha x star minus mi times delta alpha I. But we can have to write down delta alpha I, it is as a alpha xi minus alpha xi minus 1. So after the simplification of it, we can have to see okay. So that is equal to W1 minus mi times alpha of x star minus alpha of xi minus 1 plus W2 minus mi alpha of xi minus alpha of x star. So this is the simplification of LP star f alpha minus LP f alpha. But we know that by definition of W1 W2 mi, we have W1 is greater than or equal to mi and W2 is greater than or equal to mi. Because of W1 is the infimum of fx xi minus 1, x is less than or equal to x is less than equal to x star, and this interval xi minus 1 x star is a one of the part of this interval. So infimum taken over this one and infimum taken over all these points on here, so we can have to say that the infimum is larger than the infimum for this one. So W1 is always greater than or equal to mi. Similar way W2 is also greater than or equal to mi. Moreover we know that alpha is monotonically increasing. So we can always see that alpha x star minus alpha xi minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Similar way, alpha of xi minus alpha of x star is also greater than or equal to 0. So this term is greater than or equal to 0. This term is greater than or equal to 0. So their product is always greater than or equal to 0. Similar way, this term is greater than or equal to 0. This is also greater than or equal to 0. So their product is also greater than or equal to 0. So sum of two greater than or equal to 0 numbers gives us it is greater than or equal to 0. So what is here? We proved that LP star f alpha minus LP f alpha is greater than or equal to 0. That is here we proved. This is we proved if